pertaining to the failed prophetic chart of William Miller, a logical question might be, why all the changing of times? Why change it from March 21st, 1843 to March 21st of 1844? And why even think, as Ellen White did, that Jesus Christ was going to come back in the summertime then, somewhere in July or August? And then why change it again until October the 22nd of 1844? You've heard me talk about the tarrying time. And there's actually two tarrying times, and I will explain the first one in this video here. Why the change to October 22nd, 1844? He hasn't come back. Why keep guessing? Why not just say, okay, we made a mistake and drop it, rather than just keep guessing? There's a man by the name of Samuel Snow who actually thought he was Elijah. And from Habakkuk 2:3, which reads, "For the vision is yet for the appointed time, it hastens toward its goal, and it will not fail. Though it tarries, wait for it, for it will certainly come, and it will not delay." Now that just shows you the intellect of these early pioneers of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. You know, they started thinking, why hasn't Jesus come back? You know, we've already predicted that he would, but yet he hasn't come back. So when is he going to come back, if he's going to come back at all? And so this Samuel Snow jumps over to Habakkuk 2:3, and I guess the only word he saw there was tarry. He didn't take the verse in its context to see it wasn't even talking about the return of Christ. He just saw the word tarry there. And he says, okay, we're in a tarrying time now. And it's going to coincide now, the return of Christ is going to coincide with the Jewish Day of Atonement on October 22nd, 1844. I'll tell you in a minute where he got that from. But if you want to see that even that was wrong, because the Jewish Day of Atonement in 1844 was in September, not in October. Look at my video on the wrong Day of Atonement and you'll see where that was wrong. So why did all of a sudden he come up with October to coincide with the Day of Atonement? If you look in Matthew chapter 25 at the midnight cry there, how the bridegroom crumbles, you know, in the midnight cry for all the virgins to get ready. 5 virgins had oil, 5 didn't have enough oil. Here's what Samuel Snow thought. And remember now, he thought he was an Elijah who would go on to form his own group. He says, okay, they must have begun at noon, and the midnight cry came at 12 o'clock at night, so that's half a day. And since a day to them, it doesn't matter where it is, a day represents a year. A half a day must represent a half a year. So he added 6 months to the failed prophetic chart, and then went on to add a few more days to equal October 22nd of 1844. So that's why the chart kept changing, because of this tarrying time that Snow came up with. And of course, Ellen White and the others buy into this for a while, that is. But it seems that Snow wanted the attention drawn to himself because he was the Elijah. But yet Ellen White thought herself to be the prophet, and she should be getting all of this, not Samuel Snow. Anyway, they had a fallout. Samuel Snow would end up leaving the group. But that's why all this date changing was taking place then. Rather than just saying, okay, we've missed it, let's go on, let's go about our lives, they began thinking of why he didn't come back and trying to date set further on down the line. And that's when Samuel Snow came up with the first tarrying time. That would go from March 21st, 1844, up to October 22nd, 1844. Now, Ellen White would soon reject that date because mainly it failed to begin with, and the second reason is because she was the prophet, not Samuel Snow, who thought he was Elijah the prophet, and went to his grave thinking he was some great big prophet, you know. And so he's the one that came up with this the first tarrying time. It would be O.R.L. Crozier who would come up with the second tarrying time, and then Ellen White would buy into that. It seemed like she would just buy into anything that sounded right, whether it was or not. So for those who have asked me why these different changing of dates, That's what was taking place during this time. They were trying to still figure out why Jesus hadn't come back. They were still trying to date set and get a pinpoint time as to when he was coming back. When, if they'd have looked at the Bible to begin with, they would have known how foolish they were in trying to date set for the return of Jesus Christ. Again, I wanted to explain this this first tarrying time as to why all this date changing was taking place then. So this is now my second video dealing with the chronological order of events between 1844 and 1851. Until next time, this has been Golly saying, God bless.